I'm just an ordinary guy who has been, I've loved sport from the time I was a kid. Always been really active, swimming, sailing, surfing, windsurfing. From the time I was 9-10 years old, I was competing, mostly at that time in dinghy racing. I raced all through the Caribbean. So I have a real deep background in competition at quite a high level too. A few friends of mine, were rally nuts, and they told me come and check it out. Sean Gill, who used to sail with me in the dinghy racing, he was my crew we sailed in mirror dinghies. I was the helmsman, he was the crew, and he started. And he told me, he said, "Paul, come man, you gotta come and do this. You're gonna like it, And so I had just started working in the family business, and I had an Austin Maestro. That was my company car. And I told my dad one day, I said, I want to start rallying. And he said, well, just understand, right? Is that you? I was like, cool, I just want to know that it's okay. So my company car that I used for transport became my first rally car. After I think it was about 5 years, I had that Maestro. And we did, I went through a couple of mechanics, and I learned some stuff, and we did some stuff to the car, but it never got it still was coming last, And then I bought Alan Wilkie's Peugeot 205, and at the time that was a pretty decent car. So I went from down at the bottom of the field now to the top end of the field, but it wasn't good enough car, nor did I have enough experience at that time to challenge Roger Skeet, who was the top man when I started. When I started with the Maestro, Skeet was winning everything in Barbados then. Well, that's 27 years ago. Anyway, so yeah, I got the Peugeot from Wilkie, and I had that for maybe 4 more years, and I did stuff to that car too and made it faster as it went along. And probably within 2 years of having that car, I won my first event overall. Like I beat Michael Gill, Skeet, Roger Hill, all the top guys at that time. I won my first event, and that was my first taste of victory. I remember it well. It was a gravel event at Edgecombe. And then I went to a Peugeot 306, which was just a newer model of Peugeot, but it was still the Peugeot, and that car was quite successful. And then I went to a Group A Subaru, and that was the first proper Group A car in Barbados. And then I had that for a couple of years. Then I got the 98 World Rally car, Subaru again, then the S9, and now the best one I've had so far. I remember taking it for the first drive from there up the main road, and all the noises in the car were so foreign to me. I felt the thing was gonna fall apart, It was the first time I'd ever used a dog box. It was the first time in a 4-wheel drive turbocharged car. Everything on the car was all rose jointed, and the gearbox kept so much noise. The differentials in the gearbox kept so much noise that I was driving up the road, and I seriously felt like this car was just gonna fall apart. It does have different characteristics to the Subaru as well, to the S12, which would be its counterpart. It seems less twitchy than the Subaru, but they're pretty much on par with one another. This car is lovely. I've had it now since September '09, so I've had 3 good years in it, and I'm feeling really comfortable with it. Like I know I can do what I want with it. This is a really nice car. The culture has certainly evolved. When I started, it was real island style, and we were quite far away from what was going on in the real world. Stage rallying had really only just started, so I came in right at the beginning of that. A lot of the guys that went before me, like use Roger Skeet as an example. I mean, he would have started out. When he started out, there was more navigational rallies with an occasional stage in the navigational rally. That's what, and the fast driving was done in that atmosphere. And then stage rallying started, and speed eventing, hill climbing, and now it's evolved to, where Rally Barbados is an international event now. And we have proper cars in Barbados, and so we've come a lot closer to what's going on out there in the real world. For me, the evolution of the sport has been more through the through the guys I've competed against, more so than the machinery we competed in. You understand what I'm saying? It's you know, like the Mears brothers, well, Roger really good. Barry never drove a car in our class, but Roger Mears, Trevor Manning, you know, Sean Gilmore recently, Skeet was always there, you know, Richard Ruitt, Roger Hill, you know, going back, you know, Andrew Malu that drives the Benz Subaru today, you know, he had a, I mean, when I was in the Maestro and in the Peugeot, he was driving a Suzuki that was competitive with the Peugeot at the time, you know. So I've gone through a lot of different guys have come and challenged and gone away then, you know what I mean? Skeet was there at the beginning, and Skeet is still there now. So I've had him from the time I started. He has been a rival. The rivalry between us is, that's the longest standing rivalry for sure. We're good friends and we know each other really well and understand each other really well. I remember Roger Skeet telling me many years ago, it would have been when I had Wilkie's 205, when I bought that Peugeot 205, I was having some challenges with a blown engine or something, and he told me then that motorsport will build your character, because you get the highest highs, like when you do well and you win an event, like that first one I won at Edgecombe, you know, like I was floating for a week after that. Okay, but then it has the complete opposite effect too, you know, where you go out and, you know, something happens, you crash or something fails mechanically and you're out, you know, it does the opposite. So it gives you highs and lows, and it really does, you know, it really does teach you how to persevere despite, you know, things not going how you want them to go. And it's pretty cool when everything's going cool, but I am prone to getting completely thrown off and flustered and lose my temper and all of that like anyone else. But that is a personal management skill that, you know, everyone is challenged with, you know, to be able to manage the highs and lows of your emotions and to keep composure under pressure and all that kind of stuff. So certainly, obviously, as a competitor for so many years, I understand the importance of all of that, and I have actually went and paid for professional help to deal with, like right now I'm working with a guy called Paul Check in California, who has been instrumental in helping me deal with my composure. This was created by Paul Check after we had spent a day together in California doing like healing work involved, you know, using Tai Chi, meditation, doing art, that kind of stuff, because so many people in today's world are so caught up with demands, commitments, timelines. You know, you're so stressed out, and no one's taking time in their day and doing the stuff that would balance that stress. They just start from the morning and it's boom, 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 boom till when you go to bed at night, try to wind down, you fall asleep, you wake up and you're gone again. And that is definitely a cause of the sicknesses and stuff that so many people are suffering with today. It's a lifestyle combined with poor nutrition, you know, high stress levels, and it has created a kind of environment that is not great for you know, like growth and proper expression of self and that kind of thing, right? When Paul showed me this, because we spent a day together doing this kind of stuff, and when I left him, he drew this that night, and I came back the following day to do some more like physical training type stuff with him, and he showed me this and said this was what came to him coming out of our experience during the day before. And he said, he called it the Birdman. He said, you are the Birdman, all right? That's what he told me, that's just what came to him. And I then said to him, you have no idea how significant the Birdman is, because there's a bird man called Paul Bird that's been coming to Barbados for the last few years, challenging us here, you know, rallying and whatnot. So, you know, Paul has no clue about that, but yet, you know, I just thought it was kind of funny, kind of coincidental that he saw me as a Birdman, but my biggest rival right now for Rally Barbados is Paul Bird. you know, who is sometimes called Birdman, you know. So I thought it was cool. I told I'm gonna put this on my car. And people are like, all weekend long, people were like, what is that? Did your 9-year-old son draw that? And all these kind of questions were being asked, but that's that little bit of the story there. So this is my gym where I train clients who, you know, I have quite a cross section of people. I have housewives to elite athletes come here and get special training. We look at the human being from a holistic point of view, not just the physical part, but the spiritual, mental, and emotional as well. So as you're ready to get in shape, come on, let me know.
Con los terroristas.
And do the Harlem Shake.